It's my very first time joining not just Miss Earth, but a pageant in general. So Miss Earth Australia was my very first pageant, so I did just start this year. I'm 23, I'm from Sydney, but I'm of Indonesian ethnicity. Yeah, so I want to pursue modelling, and how I got into pageantry was actually by Kuya Gabe and Ate Glasa, whom I know that you are familiar with and connected with, and they recommended me to join Miss Earth, and I did look into it, and I saw that it actually aligns with what I stood for as well. So it's for advocating for our Mother Earth, advocating for sustainability, and my advocacy is on sustainability in fashion and how, you know, there is just so much waste in the clothes that we wear, and how we can find different ways into making our clothing more sustainable and finding different ways into, you know, bettering our earth and just basically reducing more waste. That'll be cool. No, it's actually, so I was brought up in a church. I've been in church all my life, and a long time ago when I was really young, I don't fully remember this, but they actually came to my church a few times. Our churches did like a combined event together. And so my dad actually knew them already before I met them. So he was the one that knew that Kuya Gabe and Ate Glasa did pageantry, and they were mentoring and training pageant girls. And because my dad knew that I wanted to get into modeling, and it was about 2 years ago, where I was like pretty stuck on how I could start into getting into modeling. And then so he actually connected me with them. We had a coffee together, and then they told me about pageantry. And before I talked to them, I wasn't sure on whether or not I wanted to actually get into pageantry, because from my own small knowledge of what pageantry was like, I only watched Miss Congeniality, and that was my only source of pageantry. So it's like fast forwarding now to this current time, I didn't realize how much effort and how much work and how much physical and mental, you know, activity is used into pageantry. It's actually a very big deal, and I don't regret this whole journey, and it actually helped build up my confidence and my maturity. So, you know, I'm just really surprised myself that I'm in this position, because I never would have thought 2 years ago that I would be here right now, but I am, and I have Queen Central to thank. So Kuya Gabe and Ate Glasa, that's how I met them, and they're like family to me now. That everyone who is here in Australia is so blessed to be here. So I really hope that by me coming, I was born here in Australia, of course, but I was from immigrant parents. So I really hope that I can inspire people that are in the same position as me to, you know, you can win Miss Earth. Just because you weren't born here, just because your parents weren't born here, does not mean that you can't win Miss Earth Australia, or you can't do something to represent Australia. So, you know, this is a big step for someone like me. I was only Australian born because my parents were blessed enough to actually come here and move to Australia. So without them, I wouldn't be here right now. And I believe that we're such a blessed country, and we're never lacking in anything. So I really just hope that I can inspire young people, especially young girls, to don't be scared of doing something. If you really want to do it, just go for it and persevere, and just fight through whatever challenges may come, because you are going to not regret it in the end. Sedikit, that means a little. I can understand Bahasa. I feel like writing Bahasa is actually pretty easy, but I was very fluent when I was about 2-3 years old, but because I lived here. I actually lived in Indonesia for about 1-2 years when I was really young. That's how I picked up the Indonesian language, Bahasa, and I was fluent. But then when I came back, I lost it all. So I'm pretty sad about that, but I'm trying still to get it back, and I'm trying to slowly talk with my family a bit of Bahasa. So hopefully I'll be able to be fluent in a few years or so. I expected the worst, because with every virtual pageant, there are always going to be issues. The upside to having a virtual pageant is that with your videos, you can retake them and retake them, you can edit them, and you can, with my talent video, I did baking, and you can't bake on stage, you can't bake live. So I was very happy that I was able to bake virtually. One of the downsides though was definitely the technology issues that I had. With my first round, it was the beauty of face round, and my audio wasn't working, my speakers weren't working, and I had no idea what was happening, even though we tested it like an hour before. But things like that always happen, so you've got to expect the worst. But like I said before, the most important thing is that you keep pushing and persevering, and you try to make the best out of a bad situation. So that's what I did. And that's what I did with all the other rounds. I really just tried to give it my all, and I guess it worked because they saw that, and now I'm blessed to be Miss Earth Australia. That's hard because a lot of the other candidates were so well spoken and they were so educated, and it was actually very tough. What made me stand out, what I'm proud most about myself is probably my character, and I like to be very genuine with a lot of things, and I hope the judges saw that, and I'm sure that's what they saw when it comes to my answers and when it comes to being on camera. I like being on camera naturally, so I think that really showed as well, and I like being genuine with everyone I talk with and with everything I say. So I think the most important thing is to really mean what you say and to have power with every single word that you put forward. It's virtual, well, it's bad because I won't be able to see candidates, and it's not the same, but virtual, I'm glad that they still went through it virtually, because yes, I've had experience in Miss Earth Australia, so what we're doing right now, it's nothing new to me. I've already experienced it before, and also the grand coronation of Miss Earth Australia was actually, when we had the grand coronation, Miss Earth International's already started, so everything just flowed through. So once I became crowned as Miss Earth Australia, I straight away had to work on Miss Earth. So it's not like I had a little break to refresh. I had a few days to refresh myself. It was still fresh in my mind on how to do the shoots, and with all the live streams, it was still fresh. So I was able to flow right into it, and it wasn't something brand new to me. So I'm glad that even though we have a massive time constraint with all the videos, I'm glad that I still have like an amazing team that's able to help me to really just push out the best videos. Okay. So I am a customer consultant for a luxury brand in Sydney City. So we do a lot of made-to-measure outfits and a lot of made-to-measure clothing items. We cater, our price point is definitely a lot higher than what you normally see in everyday shops, but we do cater to clients who are wanting to look for that luxury feel and that luxury quality. And so what I do serve clients, I look after their tailoring needs, I look after admin work. So it's a whole bunch of things that I'm doing, but I really enjoy it. The atmosphere is really fun, and I have the best colleagues. I cannot wait to go back to work. Well, it wasn't until recently, like years ago, I wouldn't really think about where my clothing came from. I would just, because I guess young people are always on a budget, so we're always looking for like, oh my gosh, if it's $250, oh, let me just get it. It's just all about staying with the trends and just buying something new for one event and then getting rid of it, or buying a new outfit for one photo, and because you can't be seen in it again, you get rid of it. So it wasn't until like a year ago which I realized like how much waste is being used, and like how can companies pretty much make 20 pieces of clothing every single week, and for it to be reoccurring every single week, like where does the waste come from? Like how do they make it? Why is it so cheap? So I dug deeper, And I realized that there is more to it. You know, we didn't choose to buy like 5 shirts for $30. That's what the fashion industry did, and they were the ones that actually decided to make 5 shirts for $30. They're the ones that really want to rinse out, you know, clothing, and they pretty much just want to sell as much as they can without, you know, without thinking about how it's going to affect the environment, and not only the environment but people. You know, if clothing like fast fashion gets made overseas, are the people getting paid enough? Yeah. Like, are they working in a good environment? Like, where does the waste go after it's been discarded after a year? Do you dump it? Do you just dump it somewhere in a pile, or do you burn it, or like, what do you do with it? So I think it really made me realize that I have to make better choices, and I have to realize that, you know, the things that I buy, it's going to affect someone or the environment negatively or positively. So I think that we should all make informed decisions into where we buy our clothes and what we do with our clothes, and that's my advocacy. Well, the first thing to help reduce clothing waste is, before you buy, you really have to think about whether or not you want it or need it. The first thing, I like to be resourceful, and so the first thing I like doing is looking in my cupboard to see if I can find, you know, a piece that I can wear that I've forgotten about. I look in my sister's cupboard. I'm blessed with 2 sisters. I look in their cupboard to see if they have anything that I can wear and that I can use, instead of buying something. And you have to always make the informed decision to, you know, if you really want to buy it, are you going to be using it many times? Is it a good quality piece which can last you for a long time? It's not just going to be like a flimsy shirt for like $5, which is just like terrible quality and can't be passed down to your children. So you've always got to, before doing anything, you've got to really rethink on whether or not it is going to be a positive purchase. So what we've done before the lockdown, actually, my sister and I had suitcases of clothes, and so we actually showed it to our, like, the younger girls at church, and they would come and they would be so excited to pick out a few items. So before we do that, we give it to our church first to see if, you know, the younger girls want to buy it. And some of them actually have tags because it didn't fit me. I just held on to them, and hopefully they can wear them and look good in them. So that's what we do first. And yeah, if we still have leftovers, that's when we give it to salvos, or we give it to like a thrift store or a donation bin. I really hope so, because I like fashion, and, you know, but I'm a pretty simple person as well. So with my style, it's simple, but it has a bit of an edge to it. So hopefully when this pageant ends, I really want to make my own clothing brand. So something. Lately with Australian brands, it's been hard to find. There are a lot of brands that are transparent with their practices, but there aren't many that are suited to my style exactly. So I really want to make my own label that is not only, you know, suited to my style, but it is also made by good quality fabrics. It is ethically made and ethically produced, and we are transparent in all our ways. And it's also going to be at a good price point. So I know that is going to be pretty difficult to do, but a friend of mine who is going to be working with me as well, she has a few connections in Indonesia. So we're going to be trying to contact a few people in Indonesia to see if they can source like good quality fabrics. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. We haven't really fully worked on it yet. It's still in the talks. It's still in the talks because I'm focusing on this pageant, but after this pageant ends, I'm definitely ready to focus on that. So by Mr. Sarabanovsky, who is the mayor of my area, which is Bayside. So they basically said that they're very proud of me because I won Miss Earth Australia and because I'm from the area too. So they're proud that I'm representing not only Australia or Sydney, but I'm representing Bayside. So in the year of my reign, I really hope that I'll be able to help them with, you know, environmental projects that are going to be coming around, like Clean Up Australia Day, which is what we have every year. So I'd really love to help with anything environmental that they're doing. I will definitely be of service to them. So yeah, I was very happy to get that award because I was brought up in this area basically almost my whole life. So to be recognized by people from my area, yeah, it's surreal to me. The biggest problems is deforestation in Australia, how we're cutting down so many acres of land and we're killing pretty much all the wildlife because that's their homes. And especially with last year, we had one of the worst bushfires that Australia has ever gone through. So deforestation plus bushfires, that's a lot of wildlife's homes that we're getting rid of. So that is a very important issue. And with Miss Earth Australia, I tried to raise money for a charity called WWF. Okay. And they have a koala initiative. So the money raised goes to that charity to really help nurse like injured and vulnerable koalas. So I'm very for animals, and if you're taking away their home, and especially if you're, killing our wildlife, that is something that should not ever happen to any animal ever. So that's a problem that we have here in Australia. And I really hope that, we can have equilibrium, as in we can always replace what we take. It's good to cut down trees because we need trees for necessities, but we also should replace it instead of just abandoning it. That's funny because I'm a pretty competitive person, so that's my Indonesian side of me. So that makes total sense. Wow. Okay. Well, I feel like with everything, we should lift each other up. We should lift every girl up, and we shouldn't bash them or bully them or put them down. That kind of matter shouldn't be tolerated ever. And if anyone does that, they really should be made accountable. So that's not a good thing that they're bashing each other. I really think that they should, have peace. And whatever happens, whoever wins, they have to make peace with that, because in the end, like it's about the girls, and you shouldn't make one other girl feel bad. That just is not a good look on yourself. Yep, I've had a few messages about that, and because I'm doing this one yet, I'm not quite sure on whether I can. That is based in Indonesia, isn't it?
Yes.
So, with that, the only issue is that because I'm an Australian citizen and I have an Australian passport, I'm not quite sure if I can actually compete in Indonesia. And there is a thing where you can have a dual citizenship with different countries, but with Indonesia, I'm pretty sure that they don't allow that, which is really unfortunate, because if they did allow that, I will be there. But I don't think they do. I can't, unfortunately. So if there is an Indonesian pageant here in Australia, maybe. I just focus on my goal, and I just, sometimes you can listen to criticism and you can listen to negativity, but it shouldn't let it affect you. And it has affected me before, but now I'm just like, you know what, I'm focused on my goal. Yeah. This person, if they want to say negative things, they obviously, have something that they need to work on. So I'm just working on myself, and I'm just focusing on my vision, and I just don't let it affect me. It happens with everyone. You can get negative feedback or negative comments anywhere and everywhere, and everyone can get them, but it's how you react to it, and it's how you go forward with it. It's so important to have a very good support system. So I have my family here right now, and they're really supportive, and my mentors, Gabe and Ate. It is so important. It is so important to have just the best support system, because when you're not feeling your best, or when you have so many things going on in your head, you have them to really support you and guide you and encourage you. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my family and my mentors. But with my training, so with Miss Earth Australia, I trained pretty much outside my bedroom. I was walking with my 6-inch heels, the passerella, trying to walk properly in that. But with Miss Earth, I actually haven't had the chance to practice as much, because I had to get into making the videos straight away. So you know how we have all different types of rounds and all the pre-pageant rounds, I just had to get right into it. So I haven't unfortunately had a chance to practice walking as much, or I haven't done more homework as much, but hopefully after my videos I'll be able to do that more. I don't know. Well, I'm just blessed to be trained by I'm being biased, but two of the best trainers in the world, Kuya Gabe and Ate Glaisa. Like I said before, I wouldn't be here without them, and they really helped me. When I say that they helped me, they not only helped me with my walking, but they helped me with my questions. They helped me throughout this whole thing. They're always so available for me, and they give me so much guidance and so much encouragement. They're always checking up on me, and they've just gone above and beyond to what I expected a trainer would do. So they said in the beginning that they are always going to be there for me, but I didn't realize to an extent as to how much they were going to be there for me, because like I consider them like my family now. So we're that close that I can really talk to them about so many things. So I'm just really, really blessed to have them as my trainers, and hopefully I've been a good enough trainee to them as well. Yeah, we trained. So before the pageant even started, we were just training on my walking, on like my stance and my executions. So when it was really cold, we trained. When it was sprinkling, we trained. When it was really hot, we trained. So throughout any weather. So it really built my endurance up to a few days ago when it was super windy. I was still walking, I was still doing it. So yeah, they taught me to just get through anything. They always encourage me, but the thing that they always encourage me before I do any live stream or any video is pray. So that's what I do.
Pray.
So yeah. It's like, just make sure you pray, just try your best, don't. Oh, and Ate Glaisa and Kuya Gabe would always tell me to, just be calm and take deep breaths. And when you're nervous, just try to replace the nervousness with excitement and say that you're excited to do this. Because when you get nervous and you keep saying that you're nervous, it's going to show. So I really learned that a lot, because I get nervous. I get nervous a lot. So yeah, I get nervous a lot, especially because with live streams and just with talking, I get really nervous. But they say just replace it with excitement, say that you're excited, and you are going to be excited. So that really helps a lot. So prayer and my emotions. Should I win Miss Earth? I feel like a lot of the other candidates can also all win Miss Earth, because they're so beautiful and they have strong advocacies as well. And we all have different paths that we want to take environmentally. I believe that I should win is because I really want to inspire young girls, and I really want to make a difference in this world. And I really hope that what I bring to the table, which is sustainability in fashion, because everyone wears clothes, and these days, it's all about how you look and what you wear, and how many followers you have and what you do. But I really want to instill in the young generation's hearts that it's not just all about that, and you're worth more than what you wear. You have to really, not only you have to think about what you're going to wear, but you have to think about who you are as a person as well. And I really hope that I'll be able to inspire girls, or even just anyone, to try and find their purpose and go for that purpose and that passion that they have and that drive that they have, and just show them that, someone like me, just a small girl from Bayside, can win Miss Earth Australia and hopefully win Miss Earth too. So nothing is impossible, and I want to show that with the people, with my generation. Well, you can support me by following me on my Instagram or my Facebook, following my journey, and just seeing what I'm up to and what I'm doing. Lately I've just been doing a lot of shoots, and when the live streams do come, hopefully people will be able to support me.
Hmm.
So even though if you're from another country, you know, hopefully you can rep Australia as well. I know you're probably going to be supporting your own country, but if you want to, I'm right here. Yeah, well, yeah, no pressure anyway, but I'm just glad that, you know, I've been given a lot of nice comments and a lot of messages from even like the Filipino community, and I'm just so touched because they're so supportive, and the Indonesian community as well. They're just so encouraging and just so welcoming, and it really stunned me to how big this pageantry is and how many like warm people there are. Thank you so much for everything and for supporting me ever since Miss Earth Australia, or if you just found out about me recently, for supporting me now. Every little support counts, and I see the messages, I see the comments, and I'm just really grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm just so thankful that I'm here anyway, to be representing Australia, to be representing Indonesia. I'm just forever grateful, really.